of themselves. So that's what I'm really curious about in this tournament. And as you say, that TSM can't give away any of that yet.
Yeah.
They really do need to try to save that as long as they possibly can. But here we go. Looks like map 1 is about to kick off.
I'm excited. This is going to be good because we're going to see what TSM actually brings to the table. Do they try and give us some different looks and be a bit more creative and give away some of their strategies that they may potentially be bringing to the table in the playoffs? Or do they try to do the thing that they attempted to do in that last game and play reserved? And as for Dignitas and what they do here, we're going to be keeping our eyes on the new addition to this team, Shanks, because he had a standout performance in day 1, and then day 2, it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions to be answered, and it all starts with the pistol. We've got pressure on the A short position from Dig, so they're going to use a paranoia. I would expect to see if they can get some value there. Smoke into the mid window as well. We get the typical sort of defaulting, just creating some presence towards the A side of the map. We're going to see that from Cypher pretty consistently, but it's a walk up C long for TSM, and it's a C retake here for Dig regardless, so dephh just has to get 1.
Yeah, he just needs to stay alive and try and just provide some value, delay it for as long as he can, but hazed is going to make quick work out of that one. They have already managed to take control of the C site right out of the gate here. Spike is down. Now they'll have to play for this retake. They will have at least a paranoia to try and go into this site. They also can get some recons, maybe to get some more vision. There goes a paranoia. It's going to be fat too. Does manage to connect with a few, as a few members on both ends are going to go down. A 2v3 here. TSM does have that slight advantage. Shock Dart is going to deal sizable amount of damage here, but a beautiful shot from Subroza is going to line it up there against Som. But it's 70 HP Superman versus 2 members of TSM. One member is actually going to be dangerously low. It's Subroza, and he manages to nail the headshot there. Dark cover is going to give him a little bit of protection, but it's not going to be enough from the garage door as the challenge comes through, and Cutler is going to be good for it, keeping TSM in this one and giving them that first round win.
That was so close. It was really interesting there, because we had POISED on the Sage, who had the Sage wall, I believe, but POISED went down almost immediately. And the whole plan was that they play retake on C effectively, or at worst they can do so with B. But that's why you got the Cypher there. He's going to delay for as long as possible. That was pretty disgusting from Subroza. He's been hitting the aim trainers early on this morning, and it's going to be interesting to see if Dig can find anything out of this eco round now. And I'm curious about TSM's approach. Again, you do want to see if you can thin out the numbers and not allow all of these pistols to, or you have to presume that they're shorties lurking around every corner. And you have to try to use some of your utility to deal with this. This is one example of that. You get drone, and so they use the paranoia on the drone, so that denies the information as to what's going on in this position, which is huge.
That might give them something to work with. Unfortunately, though, as dephh tried to creep around, he ends up getting popped there. Now Shanks has to bail, 51 HP, but Subroza's Bulldog is going to find the shot there against Shanks. And I love that little bit of cat and mouse that we saw with the drone and the paranoia, but I think they knew, right? You're going to send a paranoia there, a very strong piece of utility, and just to block that camera, someone surely has to be there. They do the work, they force him out, and now you got a 2v5 here that Dig have to deal with.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that POISED went a little bit too far there. This is such a typical way to play these rounds. You put a huge amount of pressure. This is very just Haven 101. Put a huge amount of pressure towards the A side of the map. You force the rotation, and the rotation not only comes to the A side of the map, but you'll have possibly a player coming down from B or C, and they'll be going towards the window and just trying to control the flank so they get the information if you rotate out of that pressure. And then that's actually an opportunity for the attackers to get a pick, which is precisely what happened there. So you have to be, as the player on the lurk, on the flank, you got to be really cautious as to how far you go, how you play the angles, because you must live. And unfortunately, POISED did go down there. But into the first buy round here, and this is where we need to start seeing some of those changes, Alex. TSM need to continue here with their fortune.
Yeah, they're going to keep putting that, just some information there on A, and oh, look at this. 3 players actually going to be taking the fight at the doorway. I think they knew that Subroza was there last time, so they wanted to try and see if they could punish that right away. That's going to give them an advantage. And I would also say we were wanting to see Dig adapt. That was some great adaptation there to just shut down the Phoenix right out of the gate. They're going to lose the flash. They're going to lose some of that utility early on.
Yeah, the triple peek there is really cool to see right at the start, just showing very confident play from Dig. And TSM, it's such an interesting dynamic too, because of course they get that lurk towards and the presence towards a lobby and a long as you typically do, but it was just Cutler here, so he can only do so much by himself. Now TSM working off of the only control that they had, which was what Cutler gave them towards A to commit to this A push. Dig still with 5 players, but Supamen, he really needs to get something here. He does have Psalm there as well to back him up. He's got a paranoia also, and surely there's a response paranoia coming in from Supamen. He's actually holding the angle. He wants to bait. Psalm is making noise here, so they're all looking towards Psalm, and there's a free 2K coming out of Supamen for that. In fact, actually, it's Psalm to get all of them. Beautiful work. Just easy bait and switch there for Dig on the defense.
What a brilliant play there. And then Supamen knew, right? He was good because he held that angle. He saw the paranoia coming from Hell, so he's like, I'm not, or from Sewer, so he's like, I'm not going to try and wait this one out or try and force this. I want them to go and make this move. And it was so clean the way that he managed to accomplish that alongside Psalm. Psalm was a player yesterday that I think got a lot of criticism from the analysts, and I think just in general for not really showing up in that Cloud9 match. He seemed to have just been neutralized completely. Perhaps today we could see a different look here. Good start for Dignitas to try and get that 3rd round win.
It's also another good example of the Omen smokes. You don't know where Omen can play because they're global smokes effectively. But enough about that. We've got Wardell popping out the knives here, so it's going to be interesting to see what he's able to accomplish with that. We get a play there for the orb for Subroza. We know how insane he is with the run it back, and there it goes. Can clear out some of these trips and try to just create some threat towards this A side, clear out these close positions. Spots that Supamen is playing the same spot there at the short cubby. Oh, Shanks forced the peek. Great connection. That'll slow TSM down slightly and give time for the rotation for Dig.
Yeah, and I'm almost certain that Supamen saw Wardell with knives out low inside of the sewer, so he's just going to play this one back, go back to his teammates. Maybe Psalm's drone can give him some intel. They know that they're going to be favoring this side, but still just going to be playing this one out slowly because they have Shanks on patrol with that op. Does manage to connect with another one here. He needs a big day today, and perhaps this could very well be it. Look out, though. He's anticipating the closer player to push up, but what's going to happen potentially... Oh, he had to have seen... Oh, my God. He saw that from just the fact that that gun just... It popped up for a brief moment, and then look at that camera. Oh, man, that's a camera Sean would really appreciate.
Yeah, that's really good work there from Dig on this defense, and it's not going to be too much that is really left to do after all is said and done. Yeah, so this is something that I'm really loving in the mid-round, these mid-round cams that get set up. Once you understand sort of where the other team is moving and you get enough information, you can get a really deep cam which allows you to really punish them if they rotate out. So it's definitely something to keep an eye out for. And this is also a distance advantage type situation where Shanks is much further away from the angle of engagement, so he does get to see just a little bit more of Drone there than Drone can see of him. Plus, he has some sick reaction times.
Always helps, As you said for Subroza, right? Maybe Shanks hit that aim trainer a little early on. Always a plus.
Double off as well here. Ooh, very nice opening onto Wardell, no less. So that head-to-head is heating up, that's for sure.
Yeah, and this is exactly where Shanks is just going to prove his worth here in this matchup against TSM. Granted, yesterday Cloud9 they got bodied, for lack of a better term, but if he can actually step this up against Wardell consistently today, get Wardell frustrated, that will be a huge benefit to this Dignitas team as they try to take this series and move on into the playoffs when everyone else has effectively written them out. Now, POISED will have a snipe on one side, and then you're going to have Shanks bringing the op over towards C as well. Here comes the paranoia. Now Psalm's there to receive, manages to get one, and it's just very clean, these defensive holds here for Dignitas. Good rotations, they're responding very well, they're pinning TSM exactly where they want, and they're taking full advantage.
I feel like, maybe it's too early to say it, but I feel like in me betting on TSM in the predictions, I feel like I just screwed over everybody else. I feel like this, my predictions are not working out.
It's still too early to tell, Dan, okay?
What do you mean? We're 5 rounds in.
Game's over.
But yeah, I'm liking the double up here from Dig. It's something that has worked out really well for them in the first matchup against TSM on the defensive side. And look at this aggression we'll see coming out there. The aggressive ice orbs to slow down any presence through grass. The smoke onto the dark cover onto the window there in mid just allows so much early presence from Dig. And TSM have to check for these things. They can't just allow that space to go for free. So this buys a lot of time. Very cheap. This is a free smoke and a 100 credit investment.
Gonna get the kill here. Oh, dephh had his back, and Psalm was inside of his in his drone, and dephh was there watching his teammates back. So smart. And now that means that they're going to have that player advantage here. Also, be on the lookout for that Huntress Fury too, because if they do try to get onto site, you can really just see Psalm taking that from all the way back in the defender side. He's done that before, and he's done that to great effect in the past.
And that cam in mid now from Color can see basically everything. Sorry, from dephh can see everything in mid. They have vision on C long, so they know it's A right now. Dig 100% know what's going on, and there's just so much to talk about. But we will first see exactly how TSM are able to fight their way out of this desperate position.
Superman's waiting for the opportunity to pop that prime opportunity. Paranoia goes out. Psalm does pick up another kill there. Drone is going to drop dephh, and now they're going to be dancing around hell, but they both managed to get the job done. Only player left alive will be Wardell inside of this little cubby here, but it's going to be the rival Opper and Shanks that will end the round, giving Dig 4 straight here on defense.
So just a quick point here about just the masterful approach there from Dig. So as we saw, super cheap to get that mid control. The dark cover obviously regenerates. You have the ice orb that goes towards grass, preventing movement out from grass. So that buys Dig free time to kind of go down mid. They can take a pick of his challenge. Nothing happened. They fell back out of it. But as we said, TSM have to re-clear those positions because they cannot allow Dig to be playing in mid. So Dig know that, so they drone out to just double check if that's what's happening to get the info. And TSM try to punish the info, and the setup was there.
Shanks did not get the jump he wanted when he came out of the garage door, so he's going to back up. No one punished him though, so nothing particularly is going to be lost here besides the tailwind, which you would want, but I think he's just going to continue to play this one safely. Psalm sees a few bodies that are going to be outside. This is an eco round here for TSM. They've lost quite a few in a row now, so expect them to just try and play for the picks, see what they can get out of this, what guns they can wrestle away from Dignitas, as more angles would just continue to be held here. I also love the fact that they're double stacking B like this, anticipating that if they're all just going to charge into that, they can at least mow them down with the Phantoms. And they're playing around this B area very well, locking down middle of the map and then playing their rotations whenever they need to, because you know that, oh yeah, Shanks, he gets a little jump shot there on Wardell. Psalm, he's been on fire today as well, DDK.
Absolutely, and there's just, I'm really loving Dig's setup. The way that they're playing this map with their composition and with the way that they're using Sage is actually really, really cool. We'll see if TSM can do anything as they move towards this B rotation. They will try to find their way in, but there's just so much to deal with. The Paranoia will come through. And there's just so many bodies behind the site. It's so hard. Drone will be able to pick off dephh. Shanks has popped the daggers. He's going to miss that one. Drone is absolutely lethal with that Sheriff, and he's going to make it hurt, but inevitably Dig will win the round. And oh my god, I'm really enjoying Dig's setups here. We haven't talked about Poise on the stage, and I very quickly want to just go over it. Having Sage with the ice orbs at the back of C is really awesome for an anchor because of the amount of delay is always going to be enough here. And just seeing this, when you see this dark cover, how deep it is, it's because people want to move behind it. There's one of the reasons why you're not using Brimstone and no Brimstone smoke, because you can look over the Brimstone smoke when you're on top of the C site. So Shanks understood that smoke was a tell that they're moving behind it, and gets a free kill out of it. So Dig are just really in the heads of TSM at this point.
Now, TSM's going to need to figure out a way to make some adjustments happen, right? They've been basically struggling on A quite consistently. Any attempt that they've had on C, the credit goes to the Sage. You and I literally were just talking about this, right? How, I think there was a discussion about Sage maybe exiting some of these compositions a little bit, but the stall and what you get out of Slow Orb, it's so freaking valuable that, yeah, wall may be weaker, res is great, it's okay, it's good, but the Slow Orbs are so strong.
Yeah, it's all, the kit's all so good. The ice wall as well, there's some conventional ways people use it, but it's extremely versatile. And either way, we will see Dig 5-2 now, looking to compound the advantage. Psalm is going to pick off, he's going to get the second one. There's so much damage done by Psalm right at the beginning of the round. That's something that Snarcher, I think, really popularized. The blind Sova ults at the beginning is really good for punishing defaults, because you can pretty reliably know at the early timings of the round where they're going to be grouping up. So Psalm gets an early kill, and we have to know who is that kill on. This is Valorant after all. Phoenix is gone. That's very important. Okay, it's a pinging as opposed to tagging to keep the camera alive. But they understood that, because why else would he be standing there looking at his watch or whatever he looks at?
I always wonder that as well, you know.
Yeah, is it like a
really
app
advanced,
or something?
Yeah, really advanced app on his hand. Something along those lines. All right, well, hazed is going to go right in the back of enemy lines here, but deph's going to be playing a very aggressive angle up front. Does manage to take out Cutler. hazed is there for the response, though, and what they're going to be a little cautious about is the fact that you have a player inside of heaven, but Shanks has been on point with all of his shots. Wardell, though, will get his revenge against Shanks. Now it leaves it into a 3v2 retake opportunity here for the defense for Dignitas. They will have that man advantage, but Wardell could neutralize that with one shot right here. He is tagged, so his options are going to be fairly limited, though. Supamen pushes that one immediately. Now it's going to be up to hazed, but not going to work out as Supamen will end that approach for TSM. That's giving Dignitas another round win, hurting. They're snowballing this horribly for TSM. I did not expect this to happen on Haven.
Yeah, it's really cool because it's looking very similar to how they were beating TSM on day one in terms of how well their defense went. And it wasn't just some of the anti-stratting, because we did see some aggressions that really caught TSM badly on day one. We're actually seeing Dig just actually making the smaller aggressions and just playing the rotations super well, playing the information game incredibly well. And I think their composition is better right now, and so that I think is a huge part of it too. But we'll see if there's any salvation here for TSM. They can still get a 6-6 scoreline. We're on a buy here from TSM. We'll see a quick drone down by drone towards the A short position to clear out some of those close spots. You can see that Superman's not playing there. Clears out a trip as well. That's also brilliant. That's a great use of that drone. And now that they've cleared those positions, they've got Subroza deeper into short. They can try to default out a little bit, create presence elsewhere before committing.
Oh, man, Shanks is going for this here. Shanks is going, and, you know, I mean, hazed was actually punishing Hwin a lot when they played Gen G. He was going for that angle often, and I think that Shanks had to have taken a look at that VOD. They had to have broken that down because hazed was like that dude at C, constantly thwarting their op presence. And now that Shanks gets that kill, I think that gives him even more information and even more confidence to try and own this game. And look at this camera. I mean, he's been in this camera for so long, just waiting for the prime opportunity. The paranoia comes up. He just has to stall. Unfortunately, he dies there. Drone, he used a Hunter's Fury. They are going to block this off, waiting for the teammates to get back into the site. This is looking decent here for TSM. The cam's
still up, Alex. The cam is still up.
Yeah, they still have intel. They don't know where this cam is.
Oh,
They finally took it out.
That is, it was alive for way too long, though. And now they're starting to swarm the site for the retake, and it's looking rather hopeless. Cutler stuck on the site, trying to survive here.
He can't move around that.
They are managing to trade out some of these kills, but look at dephh go, able to find his way onto Subroza, and there goes a neural theft, leaving just drone from the short position. And what can he do from this position? He is alone, and there go the peaks from poised.
They can't even get good post plants. Well, the camera was a huge problem there. TSM do like to favor that corner plant, but they just didn't have the freedom to do so because they didn't know. Like, Superman was up in heaven, so if they tried to get all the way and wrap around to that left side, they were going to get punished instantly. It was just a oh man, Dignitas is playing this so well.
One thing about Dig here is the timing of Shanks' peak on C long, because just as TSM gain position of A short, you want to understand, are they going to rotate out? Is this just default stuff where they're pressuring everything? And at the timing in which we saw Shanks peek C long, he will get that info to see the rotation or not. And we see that he picks one player, which forces TSM. They have to go A after that. So right now, Dig know everything all the time, and it's looking rather unfair. And it looks like it could get even more unfair here because there's Shanks' third shot. And I don't know, hazed, they're just dodging all over the place.
They're literally playing around. They're like, oh, hazed, you want to go ahead and send that dark cover deep? Go on, buddy. We really appreciate your patronage to give me some additional cover.
But, sorry to cut you off, Alex. We actually have Superman who's about to ruin their day. They're going to rotate into the A site. Superman's in a position to could have caught the spike there. That would have ended the round. But Spike does make it through and drone to the A site. Maybe with the forward position. Maybe. No, definitely not. Sam is going to take down both Subroza and Cutler. So the dream is over, it looks like, in this round. Unless drone.
Nah.
But like, you've always got to give it to drone that he could pull something out with a pistol, but not this time.
Yeah, as good as he is, he had what, 25 HP and not a lot of room to work with. He was getting pressured. It would have been just an incredible play if that's the case. But yeah, so just going back to the beginning of the round here again, right? Just what Shanks is able to do against hazed and that deep dark cover that they constantly send out. They're playing around that very well. They're They're honestly just manipulating TSM to what it is that they want them to do, and they're playing right into their hand. But now they're going to be able to buy here, Dan. Maybe this is where we start to see TSM pry with these next 2 rounds, get an 8-4 respectable half here out of what's been going on their attack.
And oh, I love this. We're seeing this again. A setup to get a deep camera in mid. And this is so awesome. It looks like an aggression. You're on your guard, but it's all about getting that camera in mid. Look at the position on the camera as well. That's actually insane. Has it even been spotted? We're getting the pinging. It does get spotted. So, well done from TSM for that. But that aggressive cam placement is so cool. I love that. Now the question is whether TSM can convert some of this early control into anything. Wardell, it feels like he's so close to maybe getting a pick, but they're not giving him any peeks. And it looks like Dig were expecting a garage play, but TSM will make the maneuver towards A. So Dig are putting themselves in a retake setup onto the A site, and they don't really have great ults for this, but they at least get the res off onto Shanks.
Supamen will be in a position just to try and hold them off with the paranoia. That's going to connect with 3 of them, so they're going to wait this one out here. More delay. Som is going to be delayed on the outside too, just backing away from this one as more members of Dignitas are going to start to fold inside of this site here. Post-plant positioning for TSM. We got to look out for that. Subroza does manage to dink Supamen down low, and then Wardell, maybe he's coming back into form here, gets 2 shots of his own. Ending Shanks, ending Som. Only 2 players left remaining. It's going to be POISED and dephh as they're going to try and back away out of this one. 5v1. There is just not a lot of room here for POISED to work with, although he does manage to pick up that 1 kill. It's going to be all for naught, and Dignitas, they still hold on to this lead. A sizable one, man, and I said before, respectable at this point is going to be 8-4 for TSM.
Absolutely. I want to take a quick moment here to talk about the dark cover that goes on C long, because it may be confusing for some people, and they may be thinking, why don't you just send the dark cover further, deeper, so you can, just like not have any jump peaks possible from the top of C. The reason is because you want to deny as much information as possible, and you want to suggest that it could be possible that the entire attacking team could contact right out of that smoke, and then if they contact out of it, they're on the site. So that's the advantage of it, as opposed to putting it deeper, where if you come out of it, they can still have time to react. The defense does, at least. And hazed is just making the TP sound to make it sound like he's TP'd to the cubby there, so...
They also did play out a camera, and it got destroyed pretty fast. Seems like dephh went really deep into long to place a camera, and then it was removed instantly.
So they could actually set up a C fake here, possibly, because hazed was faking information towards C, and it was pinged out by Dig as well. So they're thinking C is happening here. And here comes a beautiful backstab onto dephh, and they can rotate back, and indeed, that's exactly what's happening. They're going into the B site instead. They pulled the rotation to C with a fake TP and the pressure into garage, and TSM, they should be able to take a lead here and get a spike plant, but that wall is still up, and they're not breaking it just yet.
Oh, and hazed managed to get behind him with the teleport as well, but POISED gets the kill! Oh, boy! Now we're going to be in a situation of a 2v3 here, as we have, I think this is, okay, they have 1 on the flank. Supamen, he's just waiting for the opportunity. Shanks is still going to be alive as well. They did neural theft, so they got some intel, but the kill came through. Now it's going to be a 2v2. Both players are going to be located inside of B. They know this, so Spike now in play. As they set it down on B, they're going to just wrap around and play the angle outside of the link. Meanwhile, you have the 2 members of Dignitas creeping their way inside. Do they have anything to try and create some vision blockage for them, which is going to come in the form of that cloud burst? Wardell, though, is going to go for it, and he muzzles Shanks. Blades are out, though. Wardell can close this one out. 8-4 in the half. Can Supamen be the hero that they need, though? He does manage to pick up 1 kill. Now it's just going to boil down to him versus Subroza. He knows exactly where he's going to be. He's trying to use the coverage of that ledge here to give him a little bit of an angle, but instead it is going to be Subroza who gets 3 out of that round. He tried to play the edge of the doorway just to give him a little bit more of an advantage to back away. It ends up not panning out for them. 8-4 is what TSM gets out of their attack. Now they'll be on defense.
And I gotta say, it's actually so awesome in Valorant that like we can see the pings of the teams. So in this instance, like you see hazed making the fake TP play in C, suggesting that he's TP to C cubby, and we get to see that Shanks actually pings that to his team, which suggests that they're taking that information for granted. So that's like really cool. That's a cool, it's almost like having the team comms.
Yeah,
almost. It's really cool. But, moving into the second half here, I feel like TSM, they got enough rounds to not feel like they're going to be absolutely shut out of this one, but certainly there's a lot of pressure in winning this pistol. And on the defense, they should find more comfort, given how Dig struggled on the offense yesterday against C9, but we'll see if TSM are able to replicate C9's performance.
Yeah, with this composition, though, they won't quite be able to be nearly as aggressive with the triple duelists, but they will have that flash for the paranoia to prevent any kind of control here. So there's going to be that trap wire here on site. Oh, okay, interesting. So as they go into B, they're going to play that paranoia into the back just to try and hold anyone back. But they do have players on the flank, though. Sam is going to be patrolling that. He's going to be the only one. 3 players are actually going to be circling out there. While that's going on, the action continues inside of B. They win that fight, so they're actually they play Spike, and now they could just play the Link. Like, they're okay. Poise continues to be a problem outside. They're going to use hot hands to deal with that. 2v3, TSM does have the advantage. Wardell gets the kill. Subroza has been on fire in these pistol rounds, and that is TSM getting a critical pistol that they needed at the start of this to get them right back into this game.
It's a really big pickup, and one thing I'm going to be looking for here on Dig's offense is to see whether or not we're going to have more mix-ups on their default. Except, I don't want to just see every single round, 3 moving towards that initial A lobby pressure just every round. Obviously, you expect to see the Cypher caging it and to see, that there be presence there at the beginning of the rounds. But one of the things that C9 exploited was that they were constantly, every round, reliably, heavily playing towards the A lobby position, giving up control around the rest of the map in the early timings. And that's something that TSM would be able to exploit, and they would have watched the tape, back of how C9 destroyed Dig on this map. So we'll see how that plays out, whether TSM will get the aggression going. They don't have as many of the aggressive agents as C9. And already we're going to see on this eco, Cutler will make light work of Shanks, and they're thinning the numbers already. So this is feeling really comfortable for TSM. Now they don't have to worry about getting burst by 5 players, which is scary.
C, though, is going to be open, but they don't have the guns to try and hold this off, especially if Superman try as you might. But that Spectre will connect, and they, smartly enough, are going to rotate off of that information that Superman was inside of C, thus giving them the info that, hey, they're going to try and push this one over here. Spike down right in front. A clean round for TSM. They're within 2. Flawless as expected, considering that they were basically running at them with sticks and stones.
What will happen on the internet if Dig actually beat TSM?
I don't know. I had, as they were just slapping them in that 8-round stint that they picked up, I was like,
The internet will never be the same again.
No, it won't. Like the tweets. Think about the material that Doe is going to have.
Oh my god,
right?
yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
All right, so this is going to be the first gun round between these 2 teams on the second half, and it looks like there's going to be more mid-presence right from the get-go from Dig.
Oh, I like that they're playing aggressive with these Spectres and Bulldogs, though. They're just forcing them out of A, pushing them back, and then making them rethink whatever this strategy is going to be here. They didn't quite commit to it, so they don't get anything, but they do manage to just get the peace of mind to know that they're not going to be pushing this right now.
It's a good response from Dig as well to realize, oh, they've actually walled off towards the C side here, and this actually, all the players to TSM are towards the A link. This is a problem here, a huge problem for Dig. Maybe they've misread this one completely, and oh no, they are just out positioned. They basically fed themselves into an even tighter choke point into the welcome embrace of TSM. And oh wow, so one thing to note here, unless dephh is able to actually accomplish the impossible in this 1v4, one thing to note is that TSM started out with a 4 stack towards A. They wanted to shut down that aggressive and consistent A lobby control that we were talking about, and Dig didn't do it, but they kind of played into TSM's hands after
Had
TSM
they just placed that wall on the right side, they probably would have had a fighting chance.
Oh, absolutely.
But they went left, and you're like, why are you left? I don't think they knew the numbers because the dark cover blocked it. So when they pushed them out, there was like 3 players in sewer that had charged. 2 Spectres, 1 Bulldog had charged right up the ramp.
Yeah.
So then they backed away. I don't think that the second player shot, so maybe they just thought it was only 2, and they thought maybe they were favoring 3 on the left.
Yeah, it's hard to say why they read it like that, but that's so unfortunate because, as you said, that one simple thing cost them everything, unfortunately for them. But it's great for TSM. TSM close to evening up the scoreline and really removing some of the pressure. Oh, that's a great pickup from Subroza. Takes out the camera, and look at this. He's just clearing out any possible presence. That deep ice orb isn't really going to mean too much, but at the same time, Dig will take garage control. But the problem is that Subroza by himself has just worked out that they aren't playing towards A right now.
Oh, Cutler, though, is going to get dinked around 5 HP remaining. They can play off of this here. and a good trade too. So Color's going to hold the cannon just so that this way he's going to be the one that actually impacts the highest amount of damage early on. If he dies, it's not a big deal. They can still get Wardell that gun. Wardell going to be playing the rifle since he's healthier on the C position. All of Dignitas, though, still going to be lingering about here. Spike is, though, located at Garden. So there, while this is going on, while 3 members of Dig are creating this commotion, there's movement happening toward A, and that is just such a smart play to do this. If they get this spike down on an eco, it would be awesome for them.
Yeah, I completely agree. This would be really huge, and some of these forward positions can translate into a one shot or two from those sheriffs. So Subroza in the
he's gonna get the kill.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Sam unable to protect himself there. No cover, and looks like the spike plant is looking like it might be impossible at this point, unfortunately for them. But it was a great, really
the misdirection was awesome.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot. Like they made TSM think like that they were going one way, sent it over toward A. I think that the fight that ended up happening on the, I want to say that was going to be the Link fight that Subroza ended up succeeding on. Had that kill come through, they get that spike down. This round actually could be quite concerning for TSM.
Oh yeah, completely agree. Because especially with the forward positioning out of the A site towards spawn, it can take quite a while sometimes to clear out those spots, and you can likely get a 1v1. And that's if you like win that next 1v1 with the upgraded gun, it's suddenly the round is looking very favorable for you. So totally agree. But it looks like TSM 4 rounds in a row. That's going to tie things up 8-8 on map 1 of this best of 3, and
the internet will be okay.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if Dig win this map, we know how good they are on the second map bind. So, and this is going to be a close one for sure. We have no one on C here for TSM, actually. Putting an extra player towards B early on, towards mid, to see if there's any switch up into a faster mid pace, but there isn't. In fact, Dig are actually slowing things down, and they're basically delaying their default a little bit here. They haven't taken any A lobby pressure. They're looking to retake things. They're looking to not get caught by aggression. And look at Sam. He's forced to use the drone at this point because they didn't do anything at the beginning of the round, and the drone is really the safest way to clear as much as possible, as cheaply as possible.
Yeah, and it doesn't really give them all that much to work off of, too. The drone just gets midway through long on A, so they are now with that info. They're going to play this C site here, but they are going to be running right into Wardell. But with the time as it's happening here, could actually imply that the rotation comes through for TSM. As you're starting to see, drone is moving toward A, thinking that they're going to be favoring this. C is now going to be completely exposed here, and they could just push right on in. Smokes are coming out. Subroza is going to be the one to make first contact. Does manage to see one. They know exactly where he's going to be. And Subroza, what a play out of him. Staying alive inside of this is going to continue to put some fear inside of this team. Wardell, a clean shot on the Shanks. The Shanks tried to peek around that corner here. Comes around the side. Will get himself another one. Oh! Looking for a third. Can someone please stop this man? You thought that you got C for free. You thought Wardell wasn't going to kill you. But Wardell always finds his mark. That's 4. For the lead opper here for TSM, shutting it down and giving them the lead for the first time on Haven.
Oh, that was such a huge chance as well for Dig there. It looked like it was going to be terrible. There was this timing where TSM had the perfect rotation. Like they knew exactly it was going to be a C play. But then that extra time, that extra 10 seconds, suddenly they start to doubt themselves. They start to rotate back on towards the A site, giving a clear run at the C site. There was nothing here. Subroza was in garage. He gets one, but the whole site's given up. And Dig didn't spend that much utility because they didn't do all of that typical defaulting at the beginning of the round. So they had so much util to work from too. Very unfortunate for them, and now it's starting to get worrying for Dig. The double op is going to be so hard to deal with here for Dig, I would imagine. And we're not seeing as much A lobby control as we're used to seeing out of Dig from the sample size that we have. And they're going for a mid play with the light buy here, using the knives of Shanks. He's going to be the focal point here for Dig's success in this round, surely.
I do believe that Psalm got intel, yeah, that Cutler was there, but the problem is he ran right into that op. Now, though, Shanks, he's playing outside, and he will be making contact here in a little bit when Drone wraps this corner. But he's going to be playing back. Now they're just playing this one out slowly. The wall's out here. It does give them the intel that they are going to be favoring B. They'll let them take this plant, and then they'll go for the retake. Poise, though, a nice kill, is actually going to bring the res back and tip the tables in their favor. Tip the odds, I should say, in their favor, bringing back their teammates. So Sam's going to be in the fold again here. And look at this. Look at Poise on the flank. Poise is wrapping all the way around here. That's why that trap wire was placed down. Shanks is looking to hold inside of the garage. Poise is wrapping around. He's already ended that one there, and he manages to pick up the kill. It's going to be a blade battle there, but Wardell manages to win that out. Now it's a 3v2. As TSM did manage to take control of site, but it's now going to be left up to hazed by himself. He has been great in this game. Is it going to be a matter of whether or not he clutches it? No, because dephh does land the headshot, and they're going to bring this one into a tied situation yet again, and perhaps letting them take B site there so freely that could have been the death knell, you know, and the criticals of Poise too.
Yeah, there was like so much going on in that round that was kind of insane. Like Sam first going down, and then the fact that Sam was actually supposed to be the player that rotated to pick up the spike, which then forced somebody else to come off. And I think it was dephh. Yeah, dephh had to come all the way back, which meant that they had to sit in B. And because they had no choice but to sit in B, then TSM was starting to question, hang on,
what are they doing?
We thought that it was B, and we've rotated there, but now we have all these openings, and nothing's happening. So now we start to doubt ourselves. So yeah, that just got real weird, basically.
But then, you know, Poise wrapping around flank like that too, and taking a confident play there. They even patrolled that body for Sam and did not allow them to go in, and Poise had to make the play. So there's just a lot of playmakers in that game, like just things that needed to happen to work out for Dignitas to bring them back in this matchup. Cutler, though, is going to get zapped a little bit, and he will be shot in the face. So Sam does get a little bit of his revenge there against Cutler from that last round, and that's going to prompt a lot of movement over toward A, and Wardell just going to be that lone player to try and hold down C. And look at this movement here.
Yeah, it was all about, I mean, their pressure towards A was so convincing. That kill really sells it. That kill is what forces the rotation. That's so unfortunate for TSM. Now it's on to Wardell to just be a clutch monster. He's going to be, as you said, completely alone on the C side. The amount of warning that he gets is everything. We'll have to see exactly what that's going to look like. He sees the arrow. In fact, the warning shot is going to be the one that kills him. Shanks will take him down straight away, and with that, and dephh lurking towards A, it couldn't really get any worse for TSM, could it? And it looks like Dig might finally be back on the board here with these last couple rounds, unless Subroza is able to find a way to save this, but it would surely require some huge overstep from Dig, and I don't think that they're going to give it to him. There's a wall on Garage, there's a smoke on Spawn, there's a trip on C-Long. Everything is accounted for as far as Dig is concerned in terms of closing the success of this round. And I'm curious now here, Alex, what does the economy look like for TSM? Where are we in terms of the ultimates? Because we're getting into the very late stages of this one, and Dig have just finally turned things around. It looks like there is enough cash in the bank still for TSM, so they still have a solid fighting chance of stealing away momentum.
And they're also going to get a few ultimates online in a little bit too, right? I think I saw one at 5 out of 6. Yeah, so 6 out of 7 for Cutler. Drone's going to be 4 out of 7, but Subroza is the one I'm really going to be paying attention to. He's so effective with that run it back that if he manages to get it in this next round, which playing for the orb is going to be important here, and I think Subroza is going to be going to A, so they want to get that orb on him and just try and see if they can pull any information away, maybe get a kill or 2 out of this.
Yeah, and this is something, the run it back is a huge focal point in basically throwing a wrench into the attacking team's default, because as you say, so rightly, when we've seen Subroza do it so many times, how many times has it been that we've seen him run up A short with a flash on his ult and just blowing up a default? That's one of the best things about it, and he's going to use that wall to trade the wall for the ult orb for the run it back,
and he gets it,
and he does indeed get it. And so now the question is, what can Wardell find here? Oh, such an important 1 HP. That is not fair. But there's no way for Wardell to actually heal up, so that's at least something.
Yeah, that is the silver lining there. But he's going to do exactly as you said, DDK. He's going to send this one up toward A long, and now just put a bunch of pressure on him. Now with him hanging out there, they have no choice. They're going to have to back away. Subroza's still going to have positioning up on long that will give his teammate a moment to just try and give him some support here. The drone for some more support to say, hey, are they still there? Are they still hanging out in the garden? Which they are, as the drone has noted.
And with seeing Phoenix and Sova towards A, you're actually not expecting Cypher util to be on A as well, so it will actually commit them in. They know that Subroza's in a forward position. If they can get this kill, they can really turn the round around, and they will finally trade it out. Poise is the one to get the killing blow onto Subroza. They have 40 seconds, so they can decide to reset. It would be very risky. They're in a 3 versus 3 though, so there are a lot of holes around the map, and they understand that Wardell is towards the C side of the map, so that's something they have to worry about. They're going to actually run a fake, I think, with the... Do they have an Omen TP or something? Okay, no, they don't. In fact, it looked like Poise was going to run a fake.
TSM has it. They have their Omen TP, and Cutler gets a big kill there in heaven. So that's another look, and that's going to force him to have to go all the way back. They only have a few seconds remaining here. They have to make a play. They're going to do a very similar wall from what we saw in the past here. He's going to get this down. He will be able to make a res happen, but he's in no range to get anyone and pick them up. He's going to run all the way back, though. He's going all the way back around to his teammate, and he's going to have to rely on his buddy to help him out here. They've left Spike alone. They now got it. They're going to go in for this here. What's happening is they're going to wrap around the side. Hazed is going to get the kill. He's got to get this one. He's got to stop him. He manages to get the kill. Poise, that's huge. Now Wardell with 1 HP. He's going to be watching this one with the op. They're playing around the box. He's not healthy to take this. But Shanks gets the kill. Poise, oh boy, and it's going to be a huge stop there as Hayes manages to get it. And, you know, that was just risky business, though, to go all the way out to get that res. I understand the reasoning behind it, but that was just... Whew, man, it was like they were just playing chess against one another there in a very, very quick fashion.
I don't understand some of these walls from Poise. I'm trying to work out why after you put so much pressure on A, you like
why wall C instead of walling A
yeah,
side?
I'm not sure what the logic is because given what they've been doing, they can only assume they pull the rotation to the A side of the map. So
yeah.
I don't know what the reason for that is. If you have a good guess as to why that's happening, please send us a tweet so we can kind of work it out. But and then somehow Poise gets out of that position.
Yeah,
it's like
he jumps out and then goes all the way over to C
res
to pick up Shanks for the res, which makes sense because of the op. But oh man, that is just a wild play that we saw, and admirable from Dignitas to try to make the best of a bad situation there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, TSM have money. If they lose this round, they could actually cobble together a buy, especially if they save a gun. They would actually have a full buy in the following round. Dig, on the other hand, if Dig loses this round, they are going to be struggling for a buy here. This is a really hugely important round. There's not really that much in the way of ultimates going on here for either side, as we see Drone going for the swing from window, a committed play into the A side, mixing things up. Dig haven't done this so far, but it looks like TSM are going to be ready for it. They have players in position, but they're not necessarily hitting their shots. And Dig, they've got the spike down, but TSM are already knocking at the door.
So I have one player playing further out. Oh yeah, he knows exactly where that TP went. Superman is, I think he's going to be aware of that too. That's why Subroza is going to go in for the challenge. He does manage to get the flash off, but Psalm's there for the trade right away. Wardell, Cutler, they're going to be the last two left alive here to try and bring this one back. Cutler does manage to get a kill there against Psalm. Do have dephh, who's hanging out in the back by side, but what a shot there from dephh now. He can give this team the lead. This will be huge for them, but as Wardell went for the swap with the weapon, dephh was there to pick it up, holds it down, and now they're so close from wrapping this game up on TSM's map pick of Haven.
That was an awesome round from Dig, just sending it towards the A side of the map. Again, that's something that they haven't done, and it's so cool to see it because what we saw in the previous iterations of Dig was they were more predictable. Yeah. And here it really feels like they're mixing things up way more, which gives them the ability that if they run a play like that it can be very surprising and much, much more potent, because TSM can't expect that pacing, and they can't expect such a stack of players. But moving into this very decisive round here, and as we did mention, TSM, I'm not sure what their buy looks like. They did have,
Wardell,
I think, 3 players with 4K. Right, so yeah, they have a buy, but they've got to make it count, because they will be broke. They're absolutely broke if they lose this round, and then that would be one more for Dig. So basically, TSM have to win this round, Alex.
But they have a lot of ults, though, right? Like, Hunter's Fury alone is something that can give them so much clear, give them opportunity to push into site. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on Drone for sure, like what he ends up doing. Dig have to be careful, though, not to give up too much information early on here, or else that's going to give Drone this opportunity to be able to land this Hunter's Fury and pretty much end this run, and not end the run necessarily, but most importantly, it will bail them out of this risky buy. And Drone's waiting in the wings. He's going to go for this shot. There goes the Hunter's Fury. He pops it. Is he going to connect with anything? Saw manages to get the kill against Cutler, and he does get one kill there against dephh. But they do get that spike down. Walls out in the garage. Oh, shock dart, pesky shock dart there. They will have a heal in about 8 seconds, so look for Poise to pop that to give himself a fighting advantage here. Dignitas, they're going to be beaten up out of this one, DDK.
Absolutely. It's such a cool call from Dig to just send it C after sending it A previously. Again, stuff that we haven't seen them do it at all right in the dying moments of this first map. And here comes the retake attempt. Wardell and Subroza chiming in effectively to get a killer piece as they are marching forwards now. It doesn't look like they can be denied these forward positions. hazed picks up one as well. It's all going to fall down to Shanks, but Wardell has his number. And it's looking like we're going into a tied game. It should be 11-11 here as this retake is closed down by TSM. Very effective stuff from them, and they themselves, they were mixing it up. They actually put that glass cannon operator on Wardell, and they sent him towards the A long position. We haven't really seen him playing that spot so far. That was supposed to catch Dig off guard. So we're really going blow for blow here into the final moments of this first map.
Truly, truly, man. This has been an awesome game to watch. There's so many things that you can actually break down because everything rested on what Drone was going to do in the back of the map there because he was going to be the one to kind of like scatter them a little bit, give them that advantage to try and go into sight. Saw him, credit to him for going in and getting a pick right away. And an early aggression running back here from Subroza. He's just going to send this one mid. They also got a tag. They know exactly where they are. Wardell went in for the push against Shanks. He wins that fight. Now Subroza, they figured that they were going to be by Garden, but they actually went back into the spawn.
Oof, this is a huge problem for Dig because they also have an ult disadvantage as well, but they do have one of the most powerful ultimates as far as initiation is concerned with the Hunter's Fury, so they're going to have to make it count here. It really needs to do something. Sam has to be on point with this one, so we can look to expect that. But Subroza holding on to Garage, he's so strong in these positions, and if it is a simple committed play into C and dephh dies versus Subroza, I don't know what the prospects will look like for Dig. This can be very unfavorable, and there it is. The Hunter's Fury will come into play from Sam. He needs to get a kill, but Cutler swings out. dephh and Supamen get a frag apiece, and it is now a 2 versus 2. After all is said and done, the spike needs to be collected, but there's still positioning here for TSM.
So they're going to get the spike. dephh is so far in a garage. hazed is going to be playing on top of wood. They know exactly where dephh is going to be still. They're both going to need to swing this together, but Sam is not looking at the lumber. They did tag him. That was a huge kill. Now it's going to be up to Wardell in a 1v2. He's going to have the blades out. He's going to go for this one here. Does manage to pick up. No, he doesn't. He does damage, but it's not going to be enough to get the kill, and he dies. Oh, we're going match point. Dignitas. What a play out of them. And dephh was the star of that round, getting that kill against Subroza in garage, giving them the positioning and the swing there on lumber. Oh, everything about this game, Dan, has been amazing.
Absolutely, and very quickly, the money is kind of garbage for TSM. They'll have something, but it's not going to look very good. And one quick point, the kill onto hazed there, that is a great example of using the distance advantage to clear positions because he was so far away from hazed. hazed couldn't see him, but about maybe like a third of hazed's body was actually showing. So that's a free kill. So just if you know how to clear angles.
And hazed had nowhere to go. He TPs, he's right in front of him. If he goes behind the Radiant box, he's still going to be in front. Like, there was just no clean angle for hazed to be in. And I know Subroza's kicking himself for dying in the garage there. But now match point for Dignitas. This is huge. None of us had predicted that this could possibly be the case. But Dignitas, after the shellacking that they took yesterday against Cloud9, are in a prime position to take game 1 on TSM's map pick of Haven. But TSM, if there's one team that you can never count out of it, it is TSM. They have done this so many times in the past, coming out from within the jaws of defeat. Maybe this is going to be another one of those instances here. Some ults, though, online for Dignitas. Most importantly, that Resurrect, which can give them a bit of an advantage here in the late rounds.
Speaking of which, we have Poise actually clearing stuff by himself, which makes me very afraid because I want that res to stay alive into the late round, as you said. And he's just kind of going out there lurking by himself away from the entire team. So that does worry me greatly, but we'll see exactly how that plays out. Lots of pressure from Dig towards the B side of towards the B site as well as Garage at the moment. So this can translate into anything. And now Poise has all this control of A long that right now Dig have all of the options. Oh, Wardell, he's made a play right through the cloudburst, and hazed at the same time finds a pick towards the garage, and that's going to cue supamen to make a response. They needed something, and supamen comes out huge with not just the kill, but the spike plant, and there's that res.
Rosa's on the flank here. He only has a stinger, but it should be enough to be able to get one kill at the very least, and Poise doesn't look. Oh, and dephh goes down at the same time. We could be looking at a drawed game here between Dignitas and TSM. Map 1 of the day here at Pop Flash. Loser moves on. Winner goes into the playoffs. Som gets a kill, but now it's going to be boiling down to supamen here. Can he fly in the moment where they need him to? 77 HP, but he can't do it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to overtime.
Oh no, I feel so bad for Dig. They had everything they needed to win a round such as this. They had way better guns. They had the Resurrect, which is a huge ultimate to have in a situation like that. And TSM, they were so patient. You would actually expect TSM in that position with worse guns to try to mitigate that by taking the initiative somewhere. But instead, TSM actually played really passively across the entire round, and Dig, they made a mistake. They were sweating, they made a mistake, and TSM, they were ready to punish. And we've been going round for round for round for so long right now, and as we're going into overtime, I hope that continues for a while, because this is really heating up between these two sides, and this is about to get really messy as we go into this first round of overtime here on map 1. And we're going to get a Poise sending an ice orb down C-Long, and it looks like TSM want to fight there, so this could be fun. And we get the arrow, the recon dart that will go behind the team as well.
It's going to pull at least one crosshair away too, so they're going to time this one nicely. Shanks with a big kill. He actually didn't even need the ice orb there. He just saw hazed as he TP'd over to the side and punishes him instantly. Walls up to just create further delay.
It's so awesome because they've punished hazed from doing what hazed was doing in regulation, where he was making the TP across, sometimes faking to cubby, sometimes TPing to cubby, and here's a setup that dealt with that. But the ice wall goes down, and you can see the problem here. They can get behind the ice wall, the whole team, and then they can contact through. So they get very close without much warning for the defenders. So Dig must be cautious of this.
But did you see that there? Wardell's bun actually popped out over the wall there. So the hairdo of Jett, who was enough to give Poise information, and he ended up dinking the headshot there. So that caused a lot of damage to Wardell. He can't freely go into the site the way he'd want to. He has no armor. There's barely any health. Poise with another kill. He's been just so great this game. So that was the kill on Wardell that he surely wanted to get beforehand. So he did finally find the mark. Now, though, it's going to be up to dephh here on B. Camera's out. And he hears this, too. So dephh is just playing this one slowly. Subroza does manage to find one with that snipe there. But dephh, another kill. A cyber cage out, too. He hugs the corner. He's going to run right into Drone here any second. He's going to see this. He's going to go for the swing, but Drone gets the kill. 3v2 now.
This is actually very problematic. dephh going down in that position. Oh, they realize this is actually so smart. Subroza can try to delay. He might be able to get a frag for free with the curveball. Doesn't actually find the finishing blow there. That's very unfortunate, but here's the second chance, the second swing, and that swing is going to connect straight into Som's face, as now Subroza's holding onto the rotation position, forcing them into spawn, and Drone's going to come out of the side possibly here as well, knowing that they surely have to be at least one within spawn. So really, supamen has a huge job to do coming from the A-long position.
Supaman's going to be inside. He's doing his clearing. He's going to see him. He's going to see him. He manages to get it. He's going to play star cover, and he's going to stick it. Shanks knows exactly where he's going to be. He goes inside. He tailwinds in. He's going to have the angle, but Subroza is going to desperately try and swing this one to end it. It is going to be the defenders that pick it up. Supamen, what a play from him. He gets the kill there on Drone. Drone was so worried about the player that was going to be pushing out of the defender side. He was not concerned about who would be popping around the flank.
There was actually a world, I think, where he can, where Shanks would have been able to get the win there, because I mean, it happened a little bit too late, but the pinging of where the spike was, I think inside the cloudburst, there was an angle on it. So that actually could have gone very badly there for TSM, but that's an insane recovery. Sorry for Dig, but that's an insane recovery attempt from TSM after an awful start. Oh, Dig, I'm mixing everyone up now. We're in overtime. It's all very confusing, Alex.
It's all perplexing. I'm totally with you there, buddy. Don't worry. What a game this has been so far. Now Dignitas are going to be on the attack. TSM are going to be on defense. This is how overtime works with one of the latest patches that came out with Valorant. We saw it a lot in the FaZe Invitational from TSM and Sentinels. It's kind of apropos that TSM find themselves in this situation, but how deep is the playbook for Dignitas on attack? What do they bring to the table that throws TSM off guard?
So we get a slower approach here, just going for the clears. We see that drone getting an info towards A long, knowing that there's no TSM players on the A long position itself, trying to get some info onto the sides. They've got some pressure on the short position as well. The cam's being heard, and Subroza's right there, so he knows that there could be a player behind this. So right now, TSM are very much in the dark, but they're really relying on Subroza to get them early information, and then they play retake into A. That's like what they're going for here. But Subroza gets caught by this dart, and that is pretty scary. He's going to be able to get rid of it, but again, he's bought so much time for his teammates. There comes the dark cover, and that's going to slow things down even more, and they will rely on Subroza to hold this down.
Yeah, another stall tactic there with the Molly, but unfortunately, Subroza will be cut down to size here. Big advantage for Dignitas. It is win by 2 in these conditions, so if Dignitas were to win this, it is going to be game over. They're going to chop down this wall as soon as they possibly can. Wardell's going to take positioning over here on Heaven. As dephh is going to be down low on the boxes right underneath, like toward that entranceway of hell. Shanks is looking for the mark here on top, and Shanks gets a big kill on Wardell. That's huge here for Dignitas. The 5v3, TSM, they have only one option for this retake. The paranoia is going to come through, but it doesn't connect with supamen, and that's going to do it. Dignitas take game 1 versus TSM. I can't believe it. Look at the pop-off there in his brand new Dig jersey there for Psalm.
Oh, what a game we got there from both teams. That is actually such a sick game.